Hello, everyone. I'm Yasmin, a family relationship coach, and I'm so happy to have you join me today for the second part of our series I've created to share, which offers discussion and help for the holidays. Last week, I shared ideas for how to navigate the challenges of the holidays and how to create your own personal plan in keeping with what you're comfortable with and what makes you happy. And today I'm going to dive deeper into some other complex challenges we're faced with when living with conflict and separation in family over the holidays. And to start with, I want to highlight the need to be aware that another important area to focus on during the holidays is to have realistic expectations. You may be feeling heightened anxiety about the holidays and increased loneliness and grief because you have unrealistic expectations of family about the holidays. So, what do I mean by this? For example, if your family member is incapable of being compassionate, then don't expect them to be so during the holidays. Or if your family member hasn't contacted you or doesn't respond to communication, then again, don't hold out for a Christmas miracle. In other words, don't have expectations for anything other than what your family member is capable of or what you've been experiencing from your family situation to date. And avoid expecting things to be good or bad. Accept things as they come and as they are. I also want to suggest that maybe over the holidays, it might be a time to seek therapy, counseling, or do a healing course or a well-being retreat. The reason being that when you're experiencing profound loneliness or grief or stress over the holidays, added therapy or counseling can help, or joining a support group can really be beneficial. If you feel like the holidays are truly too painful for you to face, then it might be the perfect time to work with a therapist or partake in a healing course or join a support group with like minded people. And also remember during this time that loneliness is not the same as being alone. Solitude can be a beautiful experience. Solitude is the ability to really be with oneself without the noise of outside influence and expectations. And it can be an opportunity to get to know ourselves and love ourselves on a deeper level. So, being alone is not something to be fearful of. But if you're experiencing feelings of loneliness, then, like always, reach out. Seek support from others, whether loved ones, a therapist, or both, or a support group. Now, a big part of grieving during the holidays is that families are everywhere, and we can't escape the image of the perfect family. Happy families seem to be everywhere during the festive period, and pictures of the perfect family Christmas can trigger feelings of inadequacy for those that have become estranged from their family or children. And for many people, portrayals of normal family life only highlight the closeness that their own family is lacking. Now, during the holidays, these perfect family images are everywhere, and we have to accept that they will be triggers for us. We have adverts and movies and TV shows, and they will always reappear each year. And the festive season will always be a family focused time in the media. So if you are noticing that these adverts or images or TV shows and movies are making you angry or frustrated or depressed, you can try your best to avoid them. If you do feel the frustration building up, again, speak to your support group, therapist, or counselor, or speak to a close friend about the feelings that they're triggering, because it's better to express these feelings with those that care about you and those that you're close to, rather than letting it upset you for all the holidays. You can also be proactive and notice what is being a trigger and then actively avoid it. So maybe limit how much TV you watch or what channels you're watching. Also, the same with social media, like we mentioned last week. If it is really upsetting for you, then make the strong decision to stay off Instagram or Facebook, whatever is needed to avoid these triggers. Now, in regard to preparing for the holidays, I also want to address that the reality that we're going to come up against awkward situations and discussion about and questions about our family. We're going to face questions about Christmas plans, and they can often start as early as November. And it can be really hard to know what to tell others or to try and explain to people that you won't be spending time with family over the holidays, possibly. Many of us fear being judged or vilified for not spending time with family at this time of year, or we simply don't know how to answer the difficult questions about what we'll be doing. Now, although it might seem intimidating, it can actually be easier to face these questions honestly. Sometimes lying or hiding the truth in response to questions about family or holidays can often end up making you feel even more frustrated and anxious and stressed. And remember that you're not under any obligation to share more than what you're comfortable with. If people continue to ask questions, you can also say that you find it difficult to talk about and you'd rather not talk about it. Also, remember that questions about family are most often the result of truly polite conversation, and people aren't always trying to catch you out. And also remember that 1 in 4 families experience estrangement or conflict in their family. So there is a good chance that the person asking the question has some genuine experience or knowledge of the issue, and it won't seem abnormal to them. So let's look at some examples for how to answer these questions that we possibly might be faced with. Now, you can be as detailed or as brief as you wish. So some examples could be, I've decided not to go home this year for the holidays, or I'm helping to feed the homeless on Christmas Day, or I actually don't see my family much, so I'm having a quiet Christmas this year. Or even my family and I have some relationship difficulties at the moment, so I'm actually going to be spending the holidays with friends this year. Now, you could also say something honest, such as, my family is experiencing some difficulties at the moment. So if you don't mind, I'd rather not talk about the holidays because it makes me sad. Remember that questions about family are most often the result of polite holiday conversation, not with the intention to make you feel awkward or bad. And if you're really not comfortable sharing, then you can also escape an awkward conversation by putting the attention back on them. You can say something like, our family hasn't made plans yet. What are you doing for the holidays? Or what is your family doing for the holidays? Remember that people love to talk about themselves. So this is always a really good escape plan. Now, another question that causes people personal anxiety during the holidays is the personal question, where should I spend Christmas Day? Now, the best way to answer this question and the best way to face this question is to be really, really in touch with your feelings and do what you want to do. Put your needs first, put your feelings first. It's very true that you could find it very hard resisting and find it hard to deny the invite and offer to visit another family home during Christmas time or during the holidays. Yet we often put pressure on ourselves to not refuse festive offers from friends and in-laws and end up enduring a Christmas that triggers our sadness and our frustrations. And it can be great to celebrate with friends and do all that's traditional. There's no denying that. And many people do enjoy that. And many people find it a distraction to what is happening in their own family. But it's not for everyone. And depending on where we are in our healing journey, sometimes being around other families is too hard for us. So you should never feel under any obligation to have a social Christmas. And it is fine to say that you want to spend the day your way, on your own even, or doing whatever you want to do. If you do decide to spend Christmas with another family, and if you do decide to be social, make sure that you're kind to yourself while you're in their home. If the situation begins to feel too much, take a break. Maybe even tell your friend or partner that you're finding the experience overwhelming. Being honest about your needs in this situation won't make you a burden to others. And if you do have to leave, then leave. Put your needs first. Now, if you do decide to go ahead and spend Christmas on your own, then make yourself aware of the help and support available to you so that you can reach out if you start to feel lonely or down. If you haven't already, then you might want to join a support group, possibly even a Facebook community group, and keep connected to others who are spending the day on their own, just to have as a safety net. And don't forget the truth that it is perfectly normal to want to spend the day on your own. And it can be a refreshing and fulfilling experience to do exactly what you want to do on that day. So if you have decided to spend Christmas this way, but you're worried about feeling sad on the day, then again, make sure at least one other person knows about it. Because often these days, such as Christmas Day, can be an emotional roller coaster and can often present challenges, particularly if you use social media. So it can be a wise plan to maybe plan a phone call with someone or ask a friend or another neutral family member to be on standby in case you need them. And again, if you are a member of a Facebook community group or a support group, maybe make a post and talk to others who are enjoying Christmas Day on their own too. Now, lastly, I want to talk about another truth of the holidays in regard to family estrangement or family conflict. It can bring great anxiety into our lives because we start to have thoughts about contact and reconciliation. We can start to feel very anxious about whether or not we should send gifts or cards or whether we should reach out to family members. So I want to stress to everyone, don't do anything without thinking it through first, and don't put pressure on yourself just because it's the holidays. It can be very tempting to reach out and to try to reconnect with your family over the holiday period. But it's crucial that you think very carefully. Are the holidays really the best time? If reconciliation is what you wish to attempt over the holidays, then you need to stop and ask yourself some very important questions. Is reconciliation something you would want for the other 50 weeks of the year? Or do you think that your family will be in the right frame of mind to talk to you rationally about your family issues? I want you to remember that the holidays are stressful for everyone, and your family member might not be in the most calm state of mind to receive your attempts at communication or reconciliation. Also, successful reconciliation or reconnection needs both parties to be willing to show great empathy. If this is something that you're working towards, sending a Christmas card is a good first move. Turning up on the doorstep when someone isn't expecting you might not give you the results you desire. And although it's a very brave move, it could potentially make you feel a lot worse if it doesn't go to plan and you're rejected. But if you're determined with this course of action to reconnect, to reach out to your family member, talk to a friend before you do anything and explain why you want to reconcile at this time of year. If you still think this is a good idea, try and call ahead and gauge whether this is a safe move and how you will be received. Try and send communication to your family member first. And in regard to wishes to send cards or gifts, I really encourage you to do so if you wish and if you want to show love. But I encourage you to make that your focus, love. This is not the time to talk over past wounds and issues. And also be prepared that you might not get a response or recognition for your card or gifts. And I also want to encourage those of us that have high conflict in our family. I also encourage you to maybe send an email or a text message first to just ask if it's okay to send a card or gift. Be mindful that your actions might cause great stress and anxiety for your family member too. So if you truly do want to share love, if you have the means, then I highly recommend reaching out to that family member first to give them warning or to ask permission before you send gifts or cards during times of high conflict. And as always, with all that you do, put your emotional and physical well-being first. Remember that not everyone is spending the holidays with their family. It may be a few weeks of tough emotional challenge, but you can get through them and you are not alone. So let's go over some of those main things to remember during the holidays. Get support. Join a support group, partake in community social groups, be around people that are like minded and that understand. Spend time to reflect and grieve if necessary. Pushing down feelings leads to only ongoing depression. So let yourself feel, let yourself go through those emotions, then do something nice for yourself and practice self care. Also, don't isolate. Reach out to others who also may be lonely or understand or going through the same thing. If you don't have someone to be with, then possibly volunteer to help those in need. It can be very uplifting and gratifying. Or again, join a support group if needed. Make plans in advance so that you know how and with whom you will be spending your holidays with. Uncertainty over the holidays can only add enormous stress and add to our anxiety. So, having a plan is always a good idea. Again, ask for help from your family and friends as needed. Also, don't allow perfectionism to wear you down. Don't allow images of the perfect family let you feel broken or alone. If needed, limit the time spent on social media or watching channels like the Hallmark Channel. Make time to rest and rejuvenate and practice self care. This is essential over the holidays, and it will give you more energy and strength to maintain emotional well being and emotional resilience over the holidays. Also, take time to really think and plan before taking action on reaching out or reconnecting over the holidays or any attempts at reconciliation. Do so out of love and without expectations and with compassion and understanding for your family situation. Also, be aware of the stress levels of your family member during the holidays and whether the time is right. Also, spend the holidays how you want to spend them. Always put your emotional safety and your needs first. And in regard to grief and loneliness, remember that the way to overcome them is to bring as much joy into your life as possible. There isn't a magic trick to remove grief. For some of us, it will always be there. And so it should be. For many of us, we're missing someone we love or we're missing a beautiful relationship. So it's only a beautiful reminder of the love that still exists in our hearts. But it is possible and we can live with it and we can still enjoy life. And the way to do that is to grow bigger than our grief, to not just focus on our grief, but to also start living again and do things that bring us joy. By bringing more joy into our lives, doing things that we love, doing things that bring us comfort, that mean something to us, we can grow bigger than our grief and bring happiness back into our life again. And lastly, even if your family situation is different to others, it doesn't mean that you can't celebrate all that's positive about your life and enjoy the holidays if you want to. Do what you want to do. Buy yourself the presents you want. Watch films that make you happy. Decorate if you wish. Eat your favorite food. Or do nothing if that makes you happy too. And if nothing else, remember support, support, support. Stay connected. Know you are not alone and know that you will survive the holidays. I'll be creating more videos over the holidays, so please stay connected with our YouTube channel. Explore the links below for added support and resources, and I look forward to staying connected. As always, sending you love and light, and I'll see you again soon.